Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here today. We're taking a look here at BNB, which is a request from one of my community members. Thank you to my patron Jared for requesting that I cover this. And if you're not already a patron, consider joining. We have a trading community where I share all of my trades with my members, and we have a very, very good, exciting, lucrative time. Check that out in your own time, of course. Take a look here at Bitcoin. We always look at Bitcoin because every good trader needs to understand what Bitcoin is doing first. And the one-day chart here, if we take a look here, obviously we're well above the moving averages, right? That's not important. What's important is the fact that 53,800 held as a support level today. The price bounced off that with a major retracement, and the price recovered back up to 56,000. So with this one-day candlestick closing above 56,000, that's a very, very good sign. That basically just means that we have a strong likelihood of that being a support level moving forward, as well as the fact that the price did reject off of about 57,500. That is the next major resistance. So we got this little $1,500 channel, but all in all, looking very good here for Bitcoin, staying above. And just to clarify too, I shared this with my patrons, but just to specify, there was a big amount of volume at 55,000, and that would be basically a pretty strong support level. So just keep that in mind. We're looking pretty good here for a push to the upside here. Just bear in mind also Bitcoin has a lot of dominance right now, and that does affect a lot of altcoins. Thankfully, it's not affecting BNB. As we can see here, BNB is doing very well. In fact, the sell-off here today for Bitcoin, most other altcoins dumped, whereas BNB has continued to increase. So it's a very, very good sign. We like to see that. So let's go and take a look at some of the other scenarios here. First of all, excellent scenario here. Take a look at this. We got 50 on the RSI. Price bounced right off of 50 there. So that basically means we're still in bullish momentum. We still have bullish convergence. Therefore, the price is going to continue upwards. It may continue to progress towards 70 or just kind of stay within 50 to 70. That's perfectly fine. We want to see that. Any coin that's kind of staying in the upper 50 to 70 range basically implies that the price will likely continue to increase over time, right? So that's a very good sign. Furthermore, as well, we got a MACD, well, didn't actually get a chance to diverge. You see that kind of bounced right off. That is awesome. We'd love to see that as well. So all in all, really good things here too. Furthermore as well, we also have the price above the 50 and the 200-day simple moving average. And you can see, take a look at this here. The price bounced off the 200 and essentially drove right through the 50. That's a pretty common characteristic of the 50-day simple moving average. It usually gets either rejected or the price drives straight through. And that's what it did. It drove right on through and is continuing upwards. So pretty strong day here for BNB. We can kind of see overall from the lowest to the highest point, up about 13%. Now that may not seem like a lot, but for BNB, that's pretty good. That basically means it's recovering back here on its road to 500, and we'll go ahead and see what happens here in the near future. In fact, let's go ahead and mark that. Roughly 505 is the resistance level for BNB. Furthermore, let's see if we got any support. We do have a good support right around 397. So we could pretty much round up and round down and just say 400 to 500 is a nice support channel, support/resistance channel. And we're about halfway there. So all in all, I do think BNB is going to progress up to 500 and break that just based on the simple fact that it was ready to tear out recently here, but it got kind of stunned out when Bitcoin had that first major sell-off here recently. So that being said, we're looking pretty good shape here for BNB. Looking at the 4-hour here, just quickly understand here, price is above the 50 as well, and the 200 held. Look at that. Isn't that crazy cool? The 200-day simple moving average is working right there concurrent with the support level. Love to see that. RSI is up over 50, under 70, pretty standard. We like to see that as well. It's not over 70 right now either, which is great. It's not overextended. It's likely has a very good bull run, and I'll show what I mean by that here in a moment because there's certain things you want to look for in that sentiment. But we do have a convergence on the MACD at about 5 a.m. earlier today. Obviously, we can see that there. That's pretty clear as day. Hard to miss that convergence there, but I'll mark it anyway so we can take a quick look at the 1-hour chart and see roughly what that means for us. In other words, I always like to look at the Ishimoku cloud and kind of see, and look at this. This is like spot on. Within that exact 4 hours of bullish momentum, in other words, that 4-hour candlestick that we saw, it's a 1-hour candlestick essentially. And what that is that I marked that this here on the 4-hour charts, the MACD convergence. And we see that here for the price breaking above the Ishimoku cloud at the exact same time. So that's a win-win essentially. So, had you set up an alert for the price breaking through the cloud, you would have gotten a notification to take entry right here. X marks a spot. That's a perfect place to take entry. Obviously, you might have got to it right around here, but that's fine. That is almost always a certainty when you have the MACD converging on the 4-hour chart and the price breaking above the cloud. That's something I like to look for. That's basically what I refer to as a double rainbow. It's awesome, awesome stuff. So we like to see that. Therefore, we see a nice little push up here to the upside. We can kind of see this nice little momentous trend, right? Up, over, and hopefully we go up and then we get a straight of consolidation here. Or maybe even a little higher. That's perfectly fine. But the bottom line is we want to have some consolidation followed by continuation, right? So we've got this continuation. We just need to see some sideways action. Let's go ahead and take a quick look here at T sequential. I bet we're getting close. Yep, we're actually past. In other words, if you count what from 1 to 9, normally the price should go sideways right here, but it's actually increasing. And a lot of that has to do with Bitcoin recovering in the last couple of hours and BNB just continuing to push upwards. And what's crazy cool about this, if we compare this with Bitcoin, take a look at this here. The price is basically going down for Bitcoin. We got this downward push, or I guess it's not a push, but a downward trend, and then the price comes up here. We go over to BNB, it goes down a little bit, but it ramps up twice as fast. So that tells me that BNB is on track here to essentially start getting back on track. For lack of better terms, we're going to see 500 surpassed here in the near future. I'm confident we'll probably see 550 to 600 in the next month or two, just based on a simple, simple sentiment here that it was ready to do that no less than a month ago. But obviously a lot of things kind of fell out when we had the El Salvador candle that really screwed things over. In a good way, sort of, because it did reset the dominance for Bitcoin and kind of reallocated some funds, gave us an opportunity to kind of buy in at a lower price point. But right now, even still, 450, that's a good price for BNB. Now again, you're not gonna 2x or 3x on this coin. Okay, I think $1,000 is unlikely. It's possible, of course, considering its history and how well it can do. And in fact, once altcoin season is essentially started, this will be one of the first ones to take off. Okay, so pay attention to Ethereum, BNB, Cardano, all the top 10 essentially. Those ones really give us an understanding of when alt season is about to start. Right now, a lot of altcoins are not taking off because there's such strong Bitcoin dominance that most of the the money is invested in Bitcoin. I think it's upwards of just say 50%, right in that range. And until that comes down and the money starts getting spread out, then we're going to see that be kind of consistent for a little while. I'd say until the month end, we're going to experience some altcoin, not necessarily dips, but see, altcoins are going to go sideways when Bitcoin goes sideways, and they're going to go further down when Bitcoin goes down. Normally, altcoins increase when Bitcoin goes sideways, but we haven't seen that much yet, with a few rare occasions. Either way, just something to consider and note. But big picture here, we're looking pretty good. All in all, BNB, I am bullish on BNB, and I think it's pretty safe to say here by month end, we will see this resistance of 505 get broken, and then we'll be on to the next major goal of 600. I actually have my alert set for 600 because that's one of my take profit targets for my patron community. Right, and by the way, I send out signals to all my patrons, so link in the description below for that. We actually have a very, very good time because we actually have a private chat group and we all communicate openly. It's a fun, awesome experience for everyone, and it's growing a lot faster than I expected. So thank you again to my patrons, especially for those who recommended that I cover this here today. Thank you so much. Now we'll look forward to seeing you all in the next video. Hope you have a great rest of your day. We'll see you soon. Take care.